Hey guys, so today we're going to look at the angle sum and angle measure functions that you can use to find the sum of all the angles in a figure and the measure of all the angles in a figure. Okay, so starting with the angle sum function. Here is the function that we would use to find out the angles, what the angles of any shape add up to. Y equals 180 times x minus 2. X stands for the number of sides in the figure, and Y stands for the sum of the angles. All right, so we're going to use a function table. X is going to be our input, Y is going to be our output. X, our input, stands for the number of sides in the figure, and then Y stands for what all of the angles in the figure add up to. So I've given you the first column already. So if our first x is 3, that's obviously it's a triangle. You plug 3 in for x and you'd solve. So our function would be y equals 180 times 3 minus 2. All right, so following order of operations, you do 3 minus 2 first, which is 1. Then you would multiply 1 by 180 to get a y of 180. That means when you add up all the angles in this triangle, or in any triangle, they're going to give you 180 degrees. Okay, so to continue with that, for a four-sided figure, which would be a quadrilateral, we would plug that into our function, and our function would be y equals 180 times 4 minus 2. Okay, so you do what's in parentheses first, 4 minus 2, which would be 2. Then you would multiply 2 by 180 to get 360. So all of the angles of a quadrilateral added together will give you 360 degrees. For a five-sided figure, a pentagon, we would plug in 5 for x, do what's in parentheses first. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then you would multiply 3 by 180. And because I'm an old man, I'm going to use a calculator. You get 540. So all of the angles added up in a pentagon will give you 540 degrees. All right, for a six-sided figure, a hexagon, let's plug that in. Your function would be 180 times 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2 is, of course, 4. And 4 times 180 would be 720, I think. Yes. So 720 degrees would be the sum of all the angles in a hexagon. All right, so you could use this function to find out the angle sum of any figure. You know, what a figure with 1,000,000 sides. You could plug that in for x and find the sum of all the angles. All right, how about the angle measurement function? So this is the function we use to find out what the angles of any shape are equal to if we are dealing with equilateral polygons, meaning all the sides and angles add up to the same thing, all right, or a regular polygon where everything is going to be exactly the same. All right, so that function would be 180, or y equals 180 times x minus 2 divided by x. And x still stands for the number of sides. All right, so with a three-sided figure, a triangle, we would plug 3 in for x in both spots where we see the x. So our function would be 180 times x minus 2 divided by 3. All right, so in parentheses, 3 minus 2 is 1. So then you would just multiply and divide left to right. So 180 times 1 is 180. Then 180 divided by 3 is 60. So that means in an equilateral triangle, each individual angle measures 60 degrees. All right, so let's try a quadrilateral. So we plug in 4, 180 times 4 minus 2 divided by 4. So 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 times 180 is 360. And 360 divided by 4 would be 90. So each individual angle of a regular quadrilateral would be 90 degrees. All right, let's do a pentagon. Our function would be y equals 180 times 5 minus 2 divided by 5. So 5 minus 2 is 3. And then 3 times 180 would be 540. And 540 divided by 5 give us 108. So each individual angle in a equilateral pentagon will be 108 degrees. All right, finally, let's do a hexagon. So we get y equals 180 times 6 minus 2 divided by 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 180 is 720. And 720 divided by 6 is 120. So get 120 degrees each individual angle of that hexagon. Okay. So that's it for angle sum and angle measurement functions. Thanks.